Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's ACA Roundup. My name is Karen, and I will be your presenter today to get you all ready for our OEP 2024. So I'm going to be bouncing around a lot just to warn you, but I'm going to go into our full screen right now and start the presentation to get you ready for ACA and for OEP 2024, which starts on Friday, right after Halloween. What a great time. So let's get you started here. And first of all, we really want to get everybody prepared and all those little things that we need to think about, and we probably should have thought about a long time ago, but just want to make sure you're on track and ready to go for OEP. So first and foremost, know your carriers. And what do we mean by that? So your O'Neill Agent Portal is the best resource for knowing where you're at with your appointments and what the status is. So when you go into your agent portal, which is agents.o'neillmarketing.net, and your username is, of course, the email that we have on file with you, and then you have your password. And we established a password for you when you onboarded. If you ever change that password, we won't know it. But if you keep the same password that we established when you onboarded, we would always have that if you needed it. So if you ever need assistance with that, but you did get an email when you onboarded with what your login credentials were for the agent portal. So what you can do is you can go into the tab that says Carrier Appointments, and you can see what's missing and what's there. And I'm going to show you in just a second. If you are an agency admin, you can also pull reports in the agency management tab. There's a report that you can export, and it will show all of your agents and all of their carrier appointments. So that's a really helpful report to export. Gives you one clear snapshot of where all your agents are and what appointments maybe they're missing or that are pending. So that's a great asset for any agency managers. And just a reminder, if you're writing a policy and you are not appointed with that carrier, you will not earn commissions on it. So it's kind of like when I tell people you can't ask for auto insurance after you get into an accident. You can't write a policy for somebody if you're not appointed with that carrier. You will not get commissions. So, and if you have any questions as you're looking at your contracting and appointments that you've requested, you always want to send an email to contracting, and they can help you with those questions and help to get those appointment requests moved forward. So this is my agent portal, as you can see. So at the dashboard, basically, and sometimes people wonder when they only see the little icons here. If you're only seeing the little icons, you just want to click on the little hamburger right here, and that's going to open up to tell you what each of the icons mean. So once you open that, you'll see one that says Carrier Appointments. This is going to give you a clear snapshot of where you're at. So anytime that the letters are in blue, that means that that appointment is confirmed. If you see it's in yellow, that means it's pending. So you can see my Ambetter appointment for Pennsylvania is pending right now because they're waiting for my penny certificate. So, which I did do, but it hasn't been updated yet. And so when you click on the carrier, you're going to see that it gives you a snapshot over here, all the details. So it shows all the states that I'm confirmed for Ambetter, and then it shows that my pending request for Pennsylvania. You're also going to see some additional notes that are going to help you. Maybe you should be looking for an email from Ambetter Producer, so I can go into my emails and see if I missed something. Did I get that email? Did it go to my spam? So these are great, ways to look and to check to make you proactive on where your appointments are at. And sometimes, maybe this hasn't updated yet, but as soon as we hear from the carrier that you're appointed, then we will update the portal for you. And then if I wanted to add another state for Ambetter, say, for instance, I can always go here. I would click on the drop-down menu, and I can add more states. And I would just hit the send request, and away it goes to our contracting office, and then they will take it from there. So you really want to make sure you're paying attention to this page, your carrier appointment page. And there's some, excuse me, There's a tutorial here, a little video that can explain it more if you need more assistance. And there's also a great our roadmap to contracting that kind of explains how the contracting process works. So that's helpful as well. So I'll go on to our next screen. So contracting. So if you're missing appointments, you want to request them ASAP. As we've gotten closer to open enrollment, the carriers are really backlogged. So it's not a quick process always, and it does take some time. So the sooner you get those appointment requests in, the better, and the faster it's going to move along for you. There are a lot of blackouts that have happened now. So blackout means if it's a transfer, if you were already appointed with that carrier, say through a different agency, a different FMO, a lot of the carriers go into blackout once we're getting close to open enrollment because it's just too much for them to do, basically. So blackouts so far, you'll see that Ambetter, Oscar, Molina, UHC, CareSource, they all have started their blackout periods. And typically they won't end until after open enrollment. Aetna is the last one that's going to happen on November 1st. So if you wanted to do a transfer with Aetna, you need to get that request in like today. So if an appointment does not show up on your O'Neill Marketing Agent portal, you can assume that you're not contracted with that carrier yet. I mean, unless you received a letter saying that you're ready to sell, you do not want to be selling enrolling clients in completing their applications with a carrier that you're not appointed with. And also, if you do have an appointment and it's through a different FMO, you're not going to see that on the commissions that O'Neill receives for you on your behalf. So when in doubt, check your portal. So I was going to go through and show you my portal and just show you a few things that I think, or we think, are very, very helpful when you are navigating your O'Neill Marketing Agent portal. So I'm going to go to my portal, and now this is live. So I'm going to show you a few things. So as I said, the carrier appointments tab was here, and then you have the carrier resources tab. This is another great resource for you to refer to when you're looking to say you want to call Ambetter broker support. You have a question. You click on the Ambetter, it's going to open another window over here, tells you a little bit about Ambetter. It has the broker support number right here. It gives you the member support number if you have a member that needs some assistance. Also has a direct link to your broker portal, or the broker portal, and then you would have to use your login credentials. And then the enrollment portal. And there's a few of the questions down here, the little drop down, how do I find the ID cards for my members? So a lot of great helpful information is right here on the Carrier Resources tab. You've got all of our top carriers, actually all of them. You even have WellPoint now, our newest carrier. So you can click on WellPoint. You've got the broker portal, once again, the support numbers. So this is a great resource you can always refer to when you need to reach out to the carrier directly. This is the agency management tab. If you have an agency, this is where you would go. But the other tab that I think is very, very helpful, and a lot of agents don't look at it enough, I think, is the resources tab. So if you clicked on the resource and then go to the public folder, you're going to find these folders that are available. So we've got carrier information, we've got contracting videos, general selling. So I'm going to go through, and just so you know, there's always the recordings from these monthly roundups. So you can always refer to this if you want to come back to it. The O'Neill Marketing Commissions Reconciliation Form if you had questions about your commissions. But let's go into the Carrier Information tab. You're going to see we have a tab for every single carrier that's here. Always you can click on here and get more information. If you were looking for more information, let's say about Ambetter, you'd click on that. You're going to find all different information about the plans by state. Anything that the carrier has recently provided to us, you're going to find in these tabs. So this is a great wealth of information. You'll find the information about our new AFI, our PPO plan, and the carrier webinars. So all this month we have been doing our carrier webinars. And if you weren't able to attend them, you can go to this and you're going to find the recording for all those carrier webinars that will give you more information as well. So this is just a great tab to refer to when you have questions specific to a carrier. You can find out more about WellPoint as well. And also, let's see, so that's the carrier. And then I also want to show you, you've got the contracting videos, but the general selling information. There's a lot of information here as well. That's just, you can refer to it to learn a lot. We have a lot of the CMS documents, the Client Stream, our new lead program that we have available. There's videos, or I'm sorry, a PDF on Help on Demand. So a lot of great resources here as well. And just, I would say go through here. I know everybody's getting busy now, but there are so many resources that we have available to you. The other thing I wanted to show you is our FAQs tab. So this is another great resource for you. So just some overview on the agent portal itself. If you had questions on how to request appointments, how do I access information on commission rates, so forth. So there's all kinds of questions here. Member-related questions. You can look at questions here as far as finding ID cards. But we also have some great information for Health Sherpa as far as the how to export guides and so forth. But the most important, I think, for getting ready for OEP is you've got your regulatory. So we've got right here is our 2025 handbook. And when you click on that, you're going to see this is the handbook that everyone should be reading. This should be your bedtime reading before you go to bed, before OEP starts. But don't let it put you to sleep because it's a wealth of very, very useful information. So you're going to see on here, this is going to cover all of OEP for 2025. Our marketing department has done an amazing job putting this together for you. And it's telling you about new carriers, CMS regulation changes, state-based information that you need to know. It then goes into every single carrier. We've reached out to these carriers and asked them specific questions that we feel are important for you to know, important questions that probably would come up. So it's a wealth of information. And this is information you should know for when you're starting to work with your clients to get them signed up and to get them signed up with the carrier that's going to work best for them. So I definitely recommend that you look at that. That's called the flip book. So let me get out of that. But that's here in your FAQs. You can see that here. And then the other thing that is very, very helpful moving forward is going to be the federal poverty levels that are here for 2025. This is going to show you all the different levels. It shows you the different states that have adopted the Medicaid expansion states. So the blue would be the ones that adopted it. The orange is the states that have not. But there's also some really helpful information here as far as what is considered income. When you have questions about what's considered income, you can look here. And also, who can you include in your household? So what children or what household members would be included as your household and who is not? So this is a really, really helpful. I would say keep this bookmarked and have it close by because you'll probably be referencing that quite often. So some great resources here. I definitely recommend you look at this as well. And this is always here for you. So that's the agent portal. Don't think I'm going to go into any others, but definitely keep an eye on your agent portal. So I'm going to go back to the presentation and I'll go back into present mode. Okay, so when in doubt, definitely check your portal. So carrier resources, so we just went over this. So you can see in the carrier resources tab, all this information in the handbook. You're also going to see the handbook right now when you open up the main page of your O'Neill agent portal. It's right up at the top, also in the banner at the top on the main page. So you can see it there as well. So carrier updates. We're always trying to keep you up to date with what's going on with the carriers. So of course, the new WellPoint carrier is something we're very excited about. We have been told that WellPoint is going to be a major player and have amazing plans available for your clients. So WellPoint is available in Florida, Texas, and in Maryland. Maryland is a state-based exchange, but it's also available in Maryland. WellPoint is actually owned by Elevance, which is also Anthem. And but they do not want you to call it an Anthem product, so you need to call it WellPoint and use the WellPoint logos when referring to it. But they will be very, very competitive this year for Florida and Texas. And if it's an appointment you don't have yet, I strongly, strongly recommend that you get on your agent portal and request that. As long as you're licensed in Florida and Texas, you want to request that and have those ready for being able to offer that to your clients this year. And O'Neill, what's exciting is O'Neill Marketing is one of the very few FMOs that actually can offer WellPoint. So we're very excited to have WellPoint to offer to you and for you to be able to offer to your clients. So request that today. And these are some of the areas. So you'll see the map, the footprint maps for Florida and Texas, where WellPoint will be available. And I'm sure these are going to grow over time, but this is their first year. So probably starting a little small, but really there's a great area in Florida that's going to be available for you. So definitely keep those in mind. And Oscar, so if you have not heard yet, Oscar, if you are quoting Oscar, you're still going to see Oscar on Health Sherpa. So you'd be able to see Oscar. You can certainly talk to your clients about Oscar. But once you choose Oscar and the client, you're signing a client up for Oscar, enrolling them, you're going to be redirected. So you'll have to go to the Oscar portal. So your broker portal for Oscar. And once you're on your Oscar portal, you're going to have to put in that client's information. What it's going to do then is it's going to redirect you to healthcare.gov. So it's basically going to do a search for that client to see if they are already on healthcare.gov. So it's going to be a lot more labor intensive. So just to give you a heads up, that's how it's going to work with Oscar. You're still going to see Oscar on Health Sherpa, but you will not be able to enroll through Health Sherpa platform. You're going to have to redirect to Oscar, and then it's going to bring you to healthcare.gov. So just want to make everyone aware of how that process is going to work. If you already have somebody that's with Oscar and it's an auto renewal, that's not going to impact anything. You can just allow it to auto renewal. So that makes it a lot easier. But if it's a brand new client, or if you're changing their plan or anything like that, you're going to have to go onto the Oscar portal. And then, as I said, it'll redirect you. So a little more labor intensive this year with Oscar. And just to let you know, Ambetter, so we all know that Ambetter in Florida has been called Sunshine Health, and now they are changing their name to Ambetter Health. So they have already let all their clients know, all their members. They sent out an email to them, and you'll see for their ID cards for 2025 that the name has changed to Ambetter Health. So hopefully maybe they're trying to simplify things a little bit. That would be nice. So Georgia Access, this is another big change. So Georgia has changed to a state-based exchange. So if Georgia they're transitioning, and if you have not gotten the certification with Georgia, you need to do that as soon as possible. So we have a link right here. And just so you know, in case you haven't done a webinar before, so following the webinar, this whole presentation will be emailed to you. So you'll have all these links, and then you can click on them, and there'll be live links that you can click on, and then it'll bring you to those websites. So you can't click on them now, I don't believe. But once you get the follow-up email, it'll be about 10 minutes after the webinar today, then you can look at the presentation and you can click on these links. So as I was saying, so you want to definitely get your certification for Georgia and Georgia Access Registration Training Guide. So if you're already certified, then your book of business should have been migrated over to Georgia Access. If you go into your Georgia Access and you don't see it, then you're going to have to manually do it. So I would definitely recommend going into your Georgia Access if you've already done the certification, and to see that your book of business is there. Active renewals during OEP. So with Georgia, what's nice is that you'll still be able to do it through Health Sherpa. So makes it a lot easier. So you can still look at Georgia on Health Sherpa. You can still enroll people through Health Sherpa for Georgia. So that will make it a lot easier as far as moving forward with your clients that are in Georgia. But you will have the Georgia Access website to have your book of business. So you definitely want to make sure that you can see that as well, because the two are going to integrate, and probably that's where you'll be looking moving forward for your book of business in Georgia. So Health Sherpa resources, let's see. So window shopping has started. It started last Friday. So now you are able to see 2025 plans and quote people for 2025. The only thing you can't do is enroll them, but you can certainly go on to Health Sherpa. You can click on the renewal button for your client if it's existing clients that you have, or even do a new one as a lead. And you can go through the plans with them. You can even choose one, put it in the shopping cart, and then just save it. So then once open enrollment starts, you can go right in and you can complete the application process at that time and sign up your clients. So it's exciting to have window shopping. You can start to see what plans are available, what the costs are going to be, and to start talking with your clients to get a jump start on that. There was supposed to be an at-risk renewal report. This report was going to cover clients who may be losing their subsidies, clients that are being auto-renewed into new plans, or if the carrier was dropping the plan or not renewing. However, we were told by CMS that this has not happened yet, so you're not going to see the at-risk renewal tab on Health Sherpa, but hopefully that's going to become available soon so that you have a good idea of your clients and who may be losing their subsidies, or their plans need to be renewed because the carrier changed their plan or dropped them. So keep an eye out. We will certainly let you know when that at-risk renewal tab is available on Health Sherpa. And speaking of Health Sherpa, I just wanted to go into one other thing on Health Sherpa since we're talking about Health Sherpa. I wanted to just show you my Health Sherpa. So when you go to your Health Sherpa page, and of course you have to do the, you have to go through CMS each time. So that's going to happen every day now. So get used to that. But I wanted to make sure everyone knows that you need to go into this little gear icon up here at the right and click on this and go to carriers. And when you do this, this is where you want to add, make sure you have all the states that you're licensed in. So I don't have a lot of states, but you can see I have Arkansas, Florida, Georgia. So I've got all the states. I don't have Oklahoma anymore, but all the states that I'm licensed in. And then you want to make sure that you go in and you put the carriers that you're appointed with. So you need to go in here. This is something that you need to do. This isn't something that auto updates on its own. It's something that you would need to physically go in and do with your Health Sherpa and keep it up to date. So you want to check off any carriers that you are appointed with. So I always recommend that agents go in here and just make sure. And I also wanted to point out, when you go to Florida, you're going to see WellPoint is listed as Simply Healthcare Plans. So that's how you'll find WellPoint in Florida. And then in Texas, you're going to see that it's just listed as WellPoint. So in Texas, you'll find it as WellPoint, but in Florida, it is under a different name. And so, but definitely you want to go in and make sure this is all current and up to date as well. You want to just make sure that, you know, you've got everything ready for your leads. You've got your clients. I can't show you that on my page, but just make sure that you've checked everything. Make sure that your settings are all set. But definitely you want to make sure that you update your carriers on the gear icon here. And let me go back. So I'll just go back into present mode. I'm sorry to be bouncing around, but I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of these different things, because I think it's important to know these things moving forward as we get ready. So in CMS, I'm sorry, I did not say, if you do have questions, up in the top left corner, there is a Q&A section. So if you have any questions while we're going through this, certainly write your questions up in the top left-hand corner, and we will answer those. We'll send you an email to answer your question following the presentation today, because there's generally quite a lot of questions. So I probably won't be able to answer them afterwards, but I will email you directly and we will answer your questions. So please feel free to use the Q&A up in the top left-hand corner. So CMS updates starting October. CMS will implement a system for blocking. Oh, I'm sorry. So for Social Security numbers. So you will have to have the client's Social Security number from now on in order to submit an application. So if for some reason, and I know sometimes clients do not want to give you their Social Security number, and I know that can be frustrating, but if they do not wish to give you their Social Security number, they will have to go into their application themselves. They can either go to healthcare.gov or call the marketplace. And you can either, do a three-way call with them, or they can do it on their own, but you will have to enter Social Security numbers this year. You will not be able to submit an application without a Social Security number moving forward. So that's a new change that has just started. And the resume link. So this is going to be available. It's actually available now. So available for agents encountering so when you're doing an application, and if you get this error message, it says invalid action error. It's for the ID proofing step. This is designed to protect the consumer. So rather than doing a three-way call every time, which has really consumed a lot of our time, this is one way to alleviate doing the three-way call. So let me just show you what it's showing for this. So when you're doing an application, you're going to get this error message, and you can choose with the client. You can either send them a link via email or send them a link via their text, and then they're going to have to go in and they have to basically prove their identity. So you'll get this error message. You're going to share this link with the client, and then the consumer has to submit some information. They have to do ID proofing. I believe it's going to do like, almost when they do the credit check through one of the credit companies to prove that it's them, and then to give you access. So it is going to take a little bit longer. However, this is easier than doing the three-way call. So this is something that is going to be available now. So when you do see these error message, it is something where you can choose, ask the client, which is easier for you. Is it easier if I email this link to you, or is it easier if I send it to you via text? And then the client is going to have to go through the ID proofing process. And then once that's completed, then you can resume and complete their application with them. So be compliant. This is another thing that has come around a lot more in the past year. So CMS compliance rules. So ensure you have the consumer's consent. You have to have consent to access your consumer's personal information. It has to be completed prior to doing it this year. Last year, you could do, the application, everything, and then submit it later or at a later time. You cannot do that this year. You have to gather that consent prior to even starting the process with them. And then you also have to do the eligibility review. So after you have completed the application, you have to go over the review with them and have proof that you have gone over that with them. So the consent, you can have it as a recorded phone call if you record calls, but make sure you have a way of knowing which, of detecting which call is for which consumer that you're calling, electronic documents or other methods. So whatever you have found that works best for you last year, or if you need more help, there's some great resources here from CMS as far as how to get the consent forms. There's also a consent form. There's a download consent form that you can use. So there's a lot of great resources here, but you definitely have to have the consent, and you have to keep that for 10 years. What's nice is that on Health Sherpa, you can upload it onto Health Sherpa, and Health Sherpa will hold it for you. So I would rather do that and make sure that Health Sherpa has it for me, rather than me having to worry about it and hold it for 10 years. So I would definitely recommend uploading it onto Health Sherpa, that you have the consent. But you definitely have to get that prior to working with the client. Now you have to get the consent prior. And that's with every application that you're going to be doing. So compliance cases, if you receive any complaints from carriers or Department of Insurance or CMS, you need to respond to those as soon as possible. You cannot put this aside, not wait for another day. You do not want to mess with these compliance emails when you get them. Not replying, it could risk losing your license. You could lose your commissions. It's just not a good thing to avoid. So I would not, it's almost like the IRS. You don't want to avoid the IRS. You don't want to avoid when you get a compliance email or anything like that. And we have a great compliance team now with O'Neill Marketing. So when we get compliances from CMS or from the carriers or Department of Insurance, we send them directly to the agent so the agent can see those emails. So you're going to get emails from compliance@o'neillmarketing.net. And you can certainly reach out to us if you have questions about it, but our compliance team is very good about keeping you up to date and staying on you about responding to these, but it's definitely something you want to address and get it pushed through and respond to it as soon as possible. And then AOR locks. This is a lot of exciting information we have. So CMS level of AOR locks. So as of July 19th, CMS implemented a market-wide AOR lock. So to change the AOR locks that the carriers had put into place. So new applications or income changes or plan changes, that won't alter an AOR. So that still stays the same. But most carriers are now following that AOR lock as well. So that makes it easier. You don't have to worry about which carriers are doing what as far as the AOR lock. They're all following the CMS rule on that. So Health Sherpa Consumers Resume Lock. So that is now. So now you've got that resume link that I just talked about. So you can either do the resume link or you can do the three-way call. But it is, as it says, it's going to take you through a 10 to 12 page, or take your client through that to verify their ID. So that's the only way that you're going to be able to change the agent of record on an application. So it is going to take a little extra time this year, but hopefully with the resume link, that's going to make things a lot easier and not having to do that three-way call, because that's going to be a lot more time that you're going to be putting into that rather than working with your clients. So any AOR change during OEB will require the three-way call or the resume link. This will apply even if it's just an AOR change within your agency. So that's a big one. If you're changing just within the agency, you're still going to have to go through this process. So if a client already has a 2025 application, if they went on to say healthcare.gov and they started playing around and they already started the process, once again, you're going to have to do this. This will be the case even if you were first. Yeah, so the AOR is still going to be in place as far as doing those two steps, either the three-way call or the resume link. So if you get that invalid action error, most likely the client has an AOR lock, and so you're going to have to go through that process. So just keep that in mind and know how you're going to address it when it happens. I would say the best way is going to be to try the resume link, but you may have clients where that's going to be challenging for them, and then probably the best way is going to be to do the three-way call. So I think it's going to be based on, each of your clients and what is their comfort level as far as doing the email or doing the text message process, or is it going to be easier to do the three-way call with them? So looking ahead, Wow, that went fast. So our last webinar that we have, so as I said, we had all these carrier webinars all this month, and you can always go back to your agent portal and see those recordings for all the carriers that we had. We always do this generally in October, the month before open enrollment, so that you can hear from the carriers about all the new plan offerings that they have, what their footprints are, any new areas that they're going into. And so our last one, of course, is going to be on Thursday, and that's with Ambetter. Ambetter is our biggest carrier, so I would definitely click on that link when you get it and register for the Ambetter webinar. That's going to be at 11 o'clock on Halloween, but that's going to be a great way to wrap up this series of our carrier prep talks. So definitely jump into that on Thursday. And because it's going to be such a busy time with everyone doing open enrollment, we do stop having these webinars every month until February. So we will stop these for the time being during open enrollment, but once February comes around, we will start offering them again. Because then there's going to be a lot of follow-up questions, as far as people that you signed up. There might be changes with the carriers, might be changes with CMS, who knows, and also how to track your clients now, how to follow up, commission questions. Those are what things that start coming in after open enrollment ends. So stay tuned for that. We will certainly be sharing the updates with that. And when it's generally the last Tuesday of every month, so that's probably when it'll be, but we'll see how that works. And also, just to keep you aware, these will be the last presentations that we have using Zoho. So moving forward after our Ambetter presentation, we will be moving over to Zoom for all of our webinars after this. So we found that Zoom is a lot easier for a lot of people, so we want to make it easier for you to be able to jump on. So we're going to be using Zoom moving forward after the webinar on Thursday. And just to let you know, certainly give us a call. We are here to help you during open enrollment, and you always have the general support number. That's the 813-489-4156. And support, you can always send us an email. If we don't respond to it today, we more than likely will tomorrow. Just depends on the time, and OEP is always a very, very busy time, but we are here to help you. So please reach out. And you also have your designated consultant. So you can see I'm the only one here. It's pretty easy to figure out who I am. But we have Sanjay and John and Ralph and Will and myself. So you've got, if you want to look who is your consultant, and that's right on your agent portal as well. It'll tell you on the home page who is your consultant. So you can reach out directly to your consultant as well. And you've got their email, you've got our direct phone numbers and our extension. And so please feel free to reach out. That's what we're here for, especially during open enrollment. When you have questions that come up, you need answers right away, and that's why we're here. And if you have contracting questions, please send an email to our contracting@o'neillmarketing.net. That's the best way to get specific answers for contracting if you're having issues with a contracting appointment request that you've put in, and they can help you with that. So that is it for today, and thank you so much for your time. And as I said, there will be a follow-up email with this, with the presentation attached to it, and this has also been recorded, so you can check back to the recording if you'd like, and also share with your fellow agents. If you have other agents in your office that you work with, please let them know, and please help them and show them what are all the assets that are on the agent portal and how helpful it is. So have a wonderful day, and we hope you all have a very successful open enrollment 2025. And we will be back in February to regroup and talk to you soon. Take care and have a great day.